We got the Hold Your Point podcast crew in here, man, and we're going to break down really quickly if evil influence comes from man or does it come from the devil. So we're going to look at this clip real quick.
Detective, what if I told you that God and the devil made a wager? Kind of standing bet for the souls of all mankind.
I tell you to stay on your meds.
Humor me. No direct contact with humans. That would be the rule. Just influence. See who would win.
Okay, I'm humoring you. Why?
Who knows? Maybe just for the fun of it. No telling.
Oh, so it's fun. It's fun when a man beats his wife to death. It's fun when a mother drowns her own baby. And you think the devil is responsible. People are evil, Mr. Constantine. People.
You're right. We're born capable of terrible things. But then sometimes something else comes along and gives us just the right nudge.
Well, this has been real educational, but I don't believe in the devil.
You should. He believes in you.
That's an interesting concept.
Last line.
You notice how he says no direct contact?
Yeah, just influence. I like that.
So it's, and with the situation with, I'm just saying hypothetically, man that beats his wife, what does the devil put into that man's passage? Alcohol. Or, he plays upon a trigger that influences him to do something else in order to, so it's like a cause and effect. So no direct, contact, just influence. And that's what I think the devil does. He throws a lot of things at us, left and right, things to jar us off, things to pretty much put us in a situation where we're making incorrect decisions that alternate everything else around us.
Yeah, and so I think we can dub this the power of influence, right? Because like if we're considering like without outside interference and just influence, does good or evil prevail? I think without a shadow of a doubt, like the influence of good is going to prevail over the influence of evil, because like innately we always, once we get to a certain age, we have like an innate wanting for truth, to know more and to know like where we come from, how things happen. And then even as a child, I think we've mentioned this on the podcast before, like children by nature aren't evil. They're taught things to become evil, but the influence of them being good is something that comes from an innate standpoint.
Their environment.
No, that's a good point too. And I thought the last line of that clip was kind of important too, or it hit me a little bit when he said the devil believes in you. It brought me to, portions of scripture where you literally have the devils telling them, hey, we know Jesus, we know who he is. There's actually a portion where I think some disciples, and I'm paraphrasing once again, they were trying to cast out some demons from somebody, and literally the demon talks back to them and says, hey, I know Paul, I know Peter, I know John, I know all these guys. Who are you?
That's so embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing. And the demon actually pops out of the person or wherever the entity was and goes into them. So it's like, you got to be very careful what you're playing with. You got to be very careful of what you're dealing with. And what we saw there was a very display of a lack of knowledge of the power that the devil and darkness can. Obviously, we've said that God is more powerful. He's almighty, but the devil is mighty.
Lack of knowledge, what you said,
God is almighty, but the devil is mighty.
Something that comes to my mind with it is just how there's a phrase that goes, the devil made me do it. And so people will often, cast their bad behavior on something else, which I would agree, obviously, with Satan's influence to cause people to do sinful things. But at the end of the day, I think it's important for people to realize you're the one who did it.
Yep.
Like, you can't just put your sin on Satan. It's yours. You have to own it, right? You just can't just say, it's not my fault. No, it is your fault. You had a choice. Satan doesn't make you do anything. Yeah. Satan will influence you. He'll encourage you to do it. But you're the one who makes the choice to sin when that happens. So you can't blame him for that.
I'll say this, like, you have to know the rules of the game. And in this earth, we're born into sin, right? In this earth, the devil has somewhat of an influence on people. So you need to know how to win and not die, how to live and not die, right? And just like how Nigel said, I think he was talking about kids, or Fortunato said when he was talking about kids, like, which I kind of disagree a little bit, because you'll find little 3-4-year-olds where they'll start to lie. They'll start to say these lies and be like, where did you learn this from?
Teach them how to say
You don't
no.
have to teach them to sin.
Yeah, because you don't have to teach them how to sin. You're born in it, so you need to learn how to live. So,
Yeah, I mean, the last thing I'll say on this point real quick, just going back to, as Lee mentioned, that the last portion I think is really monumental, because like the woman said that she didn't believe in the devil, right? Or just saying she didn't believe in spiritual powers, but he said that the devil believed in you. And it's like, man, like if you really think about that, like we really, like some people really do themselves for dissatisfaction, because it's like you'll be out here and you'll be like an atheist or just not regard God in any fashion, but the devil is literally hunting for you. And it's like, if you knew how much like you were trying to get, or he was trying to gun you down, then you would like put more emphasis on a relationship with God.
And defense.
Both of y'all mentioned it, that the devil was trying to kill you, the devil was trying to hurt you. And, some people might think of that and be discouraged or like afraid or something like that. I actually think of it differently. I actually think because he wants me so bad, he wants me hurt me so bad, he wants to take me out so bad, that makes me like kind of important. Valuable. It makes us important. It makes you valuable. It makes you that, if I want to come at you so bad because you're doing something, that's what that really is supposed to mean.
And I just want to add too, if people knew what was at stake, then they would behave differently. But I think because of obviously Satan's influence to try to distract people and not help them understand what's most important about coming to Christ, people are not aware or they don't care to understand what's at stake. But as far as encouraging Christians, that's more of a reason, because again, and I see that with myself sometimes, honestly, where I'm a bit lackadaisical with spreading the gospel. Like people's souls are at stake. You know what I'm saying? And when the Bible talks about people's souls being destroyed, right? It's not just, and even obviously we're here, you only die once, so none of us have experienced death before, but it's not just a physical death. Someone's soul is going to burn. You know what I mean? Like the stakes are huge. There's nothing more important than this. So it's like, for me, it just makes me remember, like, I really need to do my part in spreading the gospel. And obviously, hold your point here. We've been trying to do that here. But on an individual scale, sometimes where I'm out and about, it's like, how much am I really doing to try to do that? Because the stakes are as high as they can be.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So the power of influence, man. So without any outside influence, does good win or does evil win? Let us know in the comments what you think. This has been the Hold Your Point podcast. Until next time.